Welcome back to Ywin Studio. Today we're transforming ordinary rooms into calming sanctuaries with Japanese indoor garden design, a peaceful approach that blends nature, minimalism, and mindful living. If you love slow, soothing interiors, hit subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment sharing your favorite plant or Zen element. I read every one. At its core, a Japanese indoor garden values simplicity, asymmetry, natural materials, and the quiet power of negative space. Everything is intentional, nothing is wasteful. This philosophy guides every design decision, from stone placement to plant choice. Whether you have a compact apartment or a roomy living area, Japanese garden principles scale beautifully. The key is proportion. Use small groups of plants, low-profile containers, and a single focal element to make a big impact in a little space. Stones are the spine of the garden. They anchor composition, suggest mountains or islands, and add texture. Choose smooth river stones or weathered rocks, and arrange them in deliberate, slightly asymmetrical groupings. A tiny basin, a shallow tray with water, or a whisper-quiet recirculating fountain introduces reflection and sound without overwhelming the room. Water symbolizes renewal. Keep it subtle and low maintenance. Opt for plants with refined silhouettes: bonsai, ferns, moss, small bamboo, and snake plants. These choices emphasize form and texture over flashy blooms, creating a calming, evergreen backdrop. Moss is a quintessential Japanese garden element. It softens edges, holds moisture, and evokes age and tranquility. Use preserved moss or live varieties in shallow trays or between stepping stones. Bonsai brings the grandeur of nature into a manageable scale. Place a bonsai on a low table or shelf near a window and rotate it gently for even light. Its sculptural silhouette becomes a living focal point. ceramic, unglazed clay, or weathered wood vessels with muted finishes. Low, wide containers work well for moss and ground cover. Taller, simple pots suit slender bamboo or small trees. Use natural finishes, unfinished wood, bamboo accents, and Shoji-style paper screens to frame the garden. These materials harmonize with greenery and diffuse light to create a soft, meditative atmosphere. Shoji screens or frosted panels filter harsh daylight, producing the gentle, even light prized in Japanese interiors. Position your garden where filtered natural light can nurture plants without scorching them. Natural light is ideal, but soft LED strips, low-glow lamps, or hidden uplights can recreate dawn-like conditions. Aim for warm color temperature and indirect placement to preserve the tranquil mood. Mix coarse stones, soft moss, smooth ceramics, and woven textiles to create tactile contrast. Layering textures invites touch and slows the eye, which is essential for creating a relaxing space. Even in a small indoor garden, a defined path or a visual route made from stepping stones or a line of pebbles guides the viewer's gaze and encourages mindful movement through the space. Introduce subtle sounds, a tiny trickle of water, wind through paper screens, or a soft chime, to deepen the sensory experience. Keep volumes low and rhythms irregular for relaxation. Japanese gardens celebrate seasons. Swap plant accents, change floral arrangements, or rotate foliage textures to reflect spring freshness, summer lushness, autumn tones, and winter structure. Ikebana, the artful arrangement of flowers, teaches restraint. A single branch, a solitary bloom, or a minimal trio can punctuate the garden without overpowering it. Use negative space as part of the design. Stick to a soft palette: greens, warm woods, charcoal, stone gray, and off-white. A restrained palette keeps the focus on form and texture, reinforcing the meditative ambience. Blend the garden into living areas by using matching materials and complementary scales. A low garden under a floating shelf or beside a tatami mat can feel like an intentional room feature rather than an afterthought. Design for easy care. Choose low-light plants if windows are limited, use self-watering trays, and plan accessible placement for pruning and cleaning. A sustainable, low-effort garden is a lasting one. Start small with a moss tray, a rock and sand composition, or a bonsai kit. These bite-sized projects teach scale, composition, and care, perfect for experimenting before committing to larger installations. Turn the garden into a ritual space, morning tea beside the bonsai, evening reflection with soft music, or a 5-minute breath practice next to the water basin. The garden's purpose is presence. Thank you for joining Ywind Studio's journey into Japanese indoor garden design. I hope you feel inspired to create a peaceful corner in your home. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and comment with your favorite idea or a photo of your own indoor garden. I can't wait to see what you create.